I'm starting to get an inkling for why the love of my life, Ruben Iribarren, was available for us and didn't go to a massive Champions League club. He's now on his third injury in, 2 months at the club, 3 months at the club. They've all been relatively short injuries, but I think he might have a bit of an injury proneness problem. Hello and welcome to Season 20, Episode 3 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we're going to be at home to Norwich in the Premier League and away against Austria, Vienna in the Europa League. We've got back-to-back games against Ipswich coming up then. Probably should have included one of those in the episode. Never mind. We'll catch him the next time around. There's none of my players left there now, and I wanted to talk to you about something else to kick things off today. Anyway, we'll have a look at the league table and our form in a minute, because we've been doing really rather well. But a couple of people have asked about Iribarren. Firstly, don't be too alarmed by the intro. He's only got a bruised head. He's out for a day. But still, he's getting injured a lot. He's had a groin strain, a bruised thigh, and a bruised head, totaling 3 weeks of injury, and that's quite a long time to be out when we're only in October. So hopefully that's not going to be a sign of things to come. He's already the Premier League's top scorer though for this season. But a few people have asked me if our record transfer, bringing him in, we had the 2 highest transfers of the transfer window. A few people have asked me if it was a world record transfer, and it's not even close. I don't know how to look at what the world record is, so I'm going to look at the Premier League transfer records over the last 10 or 15 seasons, because one, it proves that Iribarren is not even close to being the world record transfer. And 2, hopefully, it will put some of the fees we've paid into a little bit more context. So if we start skipping back through the seasons, we had the second highest transfer then. I mean, there's not been a massive £90 million one for a few years. But there you go. 2031, Man City signed a player for £106 million. We had an 84 the year before that, a 90, an 89, a 91, £110 million. A player was, that might be where Stoke's amazing run came from. They sold a player for £110 million and it sorted him out for the next 10 seasons. Unbelievably went to Nice for £110 million. The year before that, Man United signed a player off Bayern for £108 million. And I think that was, there you go. We had, in 2022, Kelechi Iheanacho, £105 million from Man City to Paris Saint-Germain. And was that the only other above £100 million one? It was. But as you can see, Iribarren, not even top 5, because that's just the Premier League records. There's going to be big transfers from the likes of Barcelona and Bayern Munich and whoever else in different countries, Paris Saint-Germain, that didn't involve English clubs at all. So I'd be surprised if Iribarren's even in the top 10 transfers of all time. Context. So, our form, since you were last with me, has been all right until the last couple of games. We had a few nice big wins with no goals conceded again, which is all rather splendid. But our Europa League problems continue. That's why I'm showing you another Europa League game. I didn't plan to focus on it too much, but we've still not won a game in the Europa League. Drew away against Hertha. Hertha Berlin, is that how you say it? Or Hertha, I think it is. I can't even say that right. Stupid tongue. And then we drew away to Man United. That wasn't a disastrous result, but Man United seemed to be a mid-table team at the moment, so it wasn't great either. But we sit rather pleasantly 8 games into the season, 3 points behind Stoke, but we're comfortably in second place with a nice gap forming behind us. If we're in a runaway group of 2 with Stoke, I don't care if we end up winning the league as long as we push them all the way. So I do care if we win the league, but a solid second place finish would be progress enough for me this year. Poor old Ipswich, rock bottom of the league. Look, we'll have a quick look at them because we're not going to see him in this episode. Gabrielli's still there, but there's not many of our men who are still there apart from him. It's a completely changed team in not very much time at all. Diaby was one of ours. Clement was one of ours. They've got Alston, wasn't it? Mark Foot is still there. Goodness me. 29 years old now. I mean, remember when he was a prolific goal scorer? That was a long time ago now. Wowzers. But other than that, none of our lot are still there anymore. So I'm not that bothered about not playing them. We're more interested in playing Norwich today. And this is the team that we're going to be playing for the Norwich game. No Iribarren because of his poorly head. Michael Vendrig is getting closer to being fit though. He's going to be back in full training in 7 days. Iribarren's back at full fitness in 1 day. So by the next episode, hopefully, if they can both stay fit, we'll be able to see that strike partnership together for the first time. But our team for today, we've got Igor in goal, a back four of Ribeiro, Plotnikov, Eriksson and Ndai, Sedman, Anicic and Zajac in midfield, and then Ortega in behind Oscar and Demchenko, because we don't have any other strikers. Liam Wells has been playing a few games. We've been getting a little bit of stick in the media for the fact he's now played 6 games for us and not scored yet, which I think is a little bit harsh, because he's only a young kid. He's only playing 20 minutes at the end of a game. He hasn't started a match for us yet. So really, if we add up all his game time, he's maybe played a game and a half of professional football in his career. So I think it's reasonable for an 18-year-old to not score in his first game and a half of professional football. It's not like he's been out on loan in the Championship for 2 years. He's not played any professional matches until he got into our squad this season. We've massively fast-tracked him compared to what we'd usually do. And I now feel all protective of him and don't want to expose him to further media scrutiny. So if he's not broken his duck by Christmas, we might send him out on loan for the second half of the season and look to bring in another forward to just fill out the numbers for the second half of the season, just to take a little bit of the pressure off of him and let him go and score some goals for someone else when nobody's really watching. That's my thinking. I don't know if there's any logic to it. Let me know down in the comments if it seems logical to you. But I don't want him to end the season having played 20 games and not scored a goal for us, but never actually starting a match, because that's just not going to do his confidence or development any good at all. Or does 20 substitute appearances in the Premier League with no goals improve him more than, I don't know, 15 starts in the Championship where he gets 8 or 10 goals? I'm intrigued as to know which one would be better for his development. I know we need to get him tutored by someone as well, which I still haven't done, because Demchenko's tutoring the other youngster, and I've probably got him tutoring the wrong one, so I might move Demchenko over. We don't have any other senior strikers at the club, so we can only tutor one at the time at the moment. But I think we probably need to get Wells taken under the wing of a seasoned pro. This game is the most nothing game of football we've included in an episode for a long time. Let's get Liam Wells on. After all that waffle, let's let him come on, score a goal, and we don't even have to worry about it then. We'll also bring on Wagner, because you lot love to see Wagner as the central defensive midfielder. Look at this. We're absolutely tearing Norwich apart. They've not had a shot on target yet, and it just feels like one of those games where they're going to nick a late goal and beat us. They've set up so defensively as well. The good old-fashioned flat back 6 with wing-backs is pretty much what we're up against here, which is why we're not able to break them down. We've not got our 2 first-choice strikers. We've got Oscar playing out of position. I'm going to bring Stuart Hills on and drop Oscar back and just see if dropping him back there causes any excitement or any issues. But it means we've got the 2 kids who've never scored for us up front, but at least we've got Oscar playing in his actual position for the last 10 minutes, albeit while he's tired and having not had a very good game. This has been a disappointing match, and here comes Norwich's first shot on target, and they'll nick their goal here, presumably, and I'll grumble. You lot will all tell me why I deserved it. Here it comes, look. A poor clearance from Igor. Cross comes in. There's the goal. Sometimes this game feels so scripted. It's so frustrating. You just sometimes get that feeling of inevitability that you press that play button, and regardless of what you do during that match, the algorithm in there somewhere has just decided, you know what? This lad's won a few games, isn't he? Getting a bit too big for his boots. Looks like he's filming himself playing. He's that confident. Right. We'll show him. Let's give him a defeat, regardless of what he does. And because I've caught it out, because I'm whinging about it, we score from the halfway line to equalise in the 90th minute. Because, he's onto us. What can we do? Zajac has got the ball. Let him shoot from the centre circle. Do it. 1-1. Let's go and grab a winner now. Oh, there you go. That's how you break the match engine. I thought Wells was going to get his first goal from the edge of the area. As it is, 1-1. He's better than losing. But, obviously, Kev's football fact of the day. But we should be winning games like that. That could cost us as the season goes on if we're genuinely trying to have a title challenge. Now let's go and try and win a game in a competition we've never won a game in. I finally caved. You lot have been telling me to do this for about 2 seasons. I have made our most central midfield player a deep-lying playmaker on defend rather than a central midfielder on defend. Every single one of our midfielders is more comfortable playing in that role. So hopefully it will... really, what I'm hoping for is it still gives us some defensive solidity. They're still going to get tackles in, but we might just get a little bit more incisive passing going forward. That's what I'm looking for. We've got an incredibly good strike partnership. Hero Baron's back in the team today, and we just need to create a few more chances. So I'm hoping that's what it will do. So changes to the team, very few. Medor and Wagner come into the midfield, and Hero Baron comes back in up front. Everyone who was in drops down to the bench. I was tempted to give Anicic the start at deep line playmaker, considering it's his preferred position, but I actually think I'm going to save him for the 2 Ipswich games, which is the only reason he's not in the team. The deep line playmaker has his name all over it if it's something we're going to persist with for a little while, and I want him to do 2 games in a row against Ipswich. There you go. We've scored after 2 minutes. Jesper Eriksson, now club captain, by the way. Alfie Welsh requested a transfer, and we can't have our captain on the transfer list. So Eriksson is now club captain. Nyhouse has become vice captain, which is purely based on the fact that he's old, but he's not our first choice left back anymore. Ribeiro's already taken his spot in the team. I expected it to happen over the course of the season. He got his chance 3 or 4 games in and hasn't given the position back because he's just been really impressive there. He says, as I think Ribeiro was possibly at fault for this goal. Let's just see. I know it comes in from the right-hand side, but I think Ribeiro's the man marking the player who scores. Ribeiro's let him get away from him at the back post there a little bit. So I can't win sometimes. I genuinely believe at times that the game is somehow listening to what I'm saying and responding to make me look like an idiot. I might have to start recording my my commentary after the matches have happened so I don't do any stupid stuff. There you go. Medor getting the tackle in, showing that he'll still do that as a deep line playmaker. It falls out to Hero Baron, who crosses for Oscar, who gets, I think that was, did that say it was his 9th goal of the season already? Bearing in mind, I think he's only played 2 games as a striker, so this is 9 goals from midfield on the whole. And I think he's close to being our top scorer at this point. He's also made the step up from wonder kid to world class, according to his description. He's no longer a 21-year-old wonder kid. He's a 21-year-old world class attacking midfielder. And there's our 22-year-old world class striker. I like having such good young players. And I tell you what, I don't know how good Austria Vienna are. I assume that's who we're playing. Did it say that? Or am I making that up? I need to check now. And we're just waiting for the highlight to end. Yeah, Austria Vienna. I don't know how good they are. I mean, they have lost all their games prior to this one. But initial thoughts on the deep line playmaker is it seems to be working. We're scoring goals again. We're attacking again. We're hopefully going to win a match. If we end up conceding 2 or 3 goals, even if we win, the other thing I'm inclined to try is dropping Medor back in front of the back 4. We've tried it before and doing a diamond rather than the 4-3-1-2 and just have Medor sit there as an anchor man, maybe even just in front of the 2 centre backs, allowing the full backs to continue to push on and give us the width further forward, and it will almost become a back 3 with wing backs. They're my thoughts. I don't know if that's a good idea. I don't know if I need to tinker too much. We're at that one of those stages where we're in very good form. We're looking good in the Premier League. If we win this game, we start looking good in the Europa League as well. We don't care about the EFL Cup. The FA Cup hasn't started yet. I don't really need to tinker, but you get results like that Man United game, like that Norwich game that we've had in the last couple of games, like the first 2 Europa League games, where I have to wonder, yes, we're second in the Premier League and everything looks like it's going okay, but is that despite of me rather than because of me? Oh, apologies if my head appears to have just suddenly got bigger or smaller or moved. The camera battery died. Had to go and swap the battery over for a different one. Pesky cameras. What was I saying? Yeah, tactical stuff. I wonder if with a more tactically astute manager in charge and this group of players, we'd be 5 points clear at the top of the Premier League by now, because the squad is starting to look that good. Answers on a postcard. Wells is going to come on. If ever there was a game he was going to score. We're away from home in the Europa League. It's on a Thursday night on Channel 5. Literally nobody in the world knows this game is happening. So this is where to get a goal pressure free. I forgot to make my second substitution. Wagner can come off and we'll bring Sedman on to play as the box-to-box midfielder. And God, let's have Wells grab his first goal. I'm desperate to see a youngster do well in our team. It's been one of the big things missing from non-league to legend so far this year. We haven't developed any of our own players, partly because we've not been at a club long enough to do it. But we're settling in for the slightly longer term here at Tottenham. We've got some youngsters who we've brought in who are doing very well. Plotnikov's just scored. That's rather splendid. But I want a proper homegrown star. And Liam Wells seems like the most obvious one who could fill that role. That was some terrible goalkeeping there. We're 4-1 up now. It looks like we've finally sorted out a first win in the Europa League this season. And should, he says, go on and win the group from here, I would think. I would expect us to. We've got to be better than all these other teams. But what we want even more than that, I'd settle for second in the group if Liam Wells can score a goal here. He's got 8 seconds. Ribeiro, what can he do? Find Sedman to Ziyech, Anicic. It's going the wrong way. And Wells doesn't get his goal. But we do get our very important win. And hopefully we'll just cruise on now. And I don't need to mention the Europa League to you again until like the semi-finals. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please make sure you pop a like on there for me. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more. And thank you very much for watching.